All right, guys and gals, got something a little different today. We got Feeny here, and we got our project coming down the road. Here we go. We got here, guys and gals, a good friend of mine, the Silver Fox. He's got us a treat. Ooh, baby! What's up? We're gonna get this dude pulled in here. We're gonna get some work done on this car today. What do you guys and gals think about that? Ooh, baby. Now that is a good way to start a Friday, guys and gals. We'll click you back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals, we got the Silver Fox in the building. We're gonna help him out today. We're gonna get these control arms done. Look at this baby. Now, a little backstory on this car. This car used to be a former race car. And when John Baby got this, he decided to put her back on the street. How long you had this car, John? You want to tell the people?
It's 15 or longer.
So John's had this car at least 15 years. I've known John about as long as I believe he's had this car. It's crazy how cars work. You meet all kind of people.
Your dad helped me out a lot of it.
Yeah, that's how I met John, through Dad. Dad met him out on the road doing hot rod stuff. We'll just leave it at that. All right, guys and gals, so what we're going to do today, we're going to get this thing jacked up, front wheels taken off, and we're going to swap out our stamped steel control arms for some tubular ones. So we'll get our tools out, get this gal jacked up, get your click back on. All right, guys and gals, here we go. So we got John Baby Chevelle jacked up. We're going to get these beautiful Billet Specialty wheels off as soon as we get the right size socket.
What is it?
Yeah, buddy. Got a little fancy disc brake cover here. I like that. That's neat. Oh, that just sits on there. Okay. So what we're going to do next, we're going to take and get our caliper off. Ooh. Get our caliper off, hung out of the way here. That way we can access all our ball joints, our tie rod ends, sway bar end links, our shock, your spring. We're going to take both these off and replace it with new upper and lower tubular control arms. So we'll get our tools gathered up here and we'll click you back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals, here we go. Let's get this baby tore apart. We're first going to start with our brake caliper. Little Allen bolts that slide through. And what you're going to want to do, you're going to get this up and out of your way. Okay, so we really don't need to get into this. I could leave it attached to the spindle. But what I'm going to end up doing is hanging this brake caliper out of the way so that I can remove the spindle entirely. And I won't have to worry about bleeding the brakes again once we're done and all that good stuff. What I like to do is put this bolt back in and get me some mechanics wire. We'll just hang that baby like a chandelier. So let's get this done. We'll get the rest of this ripped apart. So now what we're going to do, we're going to disconnect our tie rod end. You got your cotter keys, or cotter pin. What, I don't know. What do you guys call them? I call it a cotter pin, cotter key. Get that guy out of there. Keep track of all this stuff. And this, guys and gals, is why I love older cars. I mean, I got a handful of hand tools here to get this complete job done. Can't ask for much better. You don't have to have a computer and all that good stuff to diagnose dumb. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this specialty tool here, BFH. We're going to hit that. We don't want to use the pickle fork because we don't want to destroy our boot. And you'll know it pops out because it'll drop down. Now these tie rods and ball joints, a lot of that stuff's tapered, so you guys and gals want to keep that in mind, especially when we go to lower, do these lower and upper control arms. The pressure of that being seated in there is what you need to actually get the nut off. I've done it a couple times where I've gotten ahead of myself, beat this out to where this just sits there and spins. You can't get the nut off, so then you end up putting it all back together just to get it apart. So keep that in mind. Now, with this out of the way, we're going to get to our sway bar end link here. That's our next step. Usually these will fight you to the death. But this one here looks to be in phenomenal shape. So we'll be able just to take that guy apart, hopefully. And it looks like our upper control arm here, the boot's gone away and greased this nicely over the years for us. Thank you, Mr. Boot. Which is not a problem because we're going to replace all that stuff. I like to spin them on the bottom just to break them loose and just unstack them. A lot of times you'll get in here and you'll notice these will spin with the bolt. Yeah, then you're in for a treat. So at least I know that'll drop out now. We're going to get after this shock here. Up top. Now a lot of these shocks, they have provisions where if they get jammed up, the threads get galled up or whatnot, they have flat spots on the tops to hold them. Because they want to tend to spin in these. What is that? 5/8? What do I got here? ½ inch. Where's my 9/16? There we go. Help have the right size, guys and gals. Okay, I got everything but I thought I had a 9/16. You guys and gals see where I went? Best way, guys and gals, to keep track of your stuff. Put it where it lives. See? I wouldn't have known that one the right one if I hadn't tried. Here we go. And those nuts that we're going to need, the bolt we're going to need for our newer control arms. A lot of times they'll come with newer stuff. We're going to take our sway bar end lengths off. We're going to reuse them. Actually, yeah. All right. Now our next step, we're going to want to get a jack under here, support this, because we have a live spring in here. We're going to remove our cotter keys, cotter pins, and then get our ball joints broke loose. And then this whole spindle assembly will be able to be pulled out. Let's get you positioned here. All right, guys and gals, we're going to get these cotter keys, cotter pins out. You did the disc brake conversion on this, John?
Yep.
Yeah, this is nice stuff here. Where'd you get that from? Speedway?
Yep. Up
Okay.
now, Mike's Speed Shop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice little kit there. So, what we're going to do here, guys and gals, we're going to get these loosened up, but not taken off. And the reason for that is, this spring is live. Okay? So we're going to use our heads here. Hopefully not to catch the spring. Get this all broke loose. So what you're going to want to do, you want to get these loose, back these off, and be mindful because everything's under pressure. That's why it's really key to put this jack underneath here. And yes, they do have spring compressors and all that good stuff, and yes, I do own them. Sometimes they're more dangerous than doing it this way. Now, what I'm going to do, let's get you over here so you can see. On the back side of this deal, okay, you got your ball joint, you got your spindle. So you're going to want to whack at till that slightly drops down. And you'll know, because it'll make a bong. You hear it?
Yeah.
All right, so now we got a live hand grenade. So what I tend to do is I leave the bottom one just loosely attached, and then we'll start addressing this top one. Okay, now that one wants to come out. Now, keep this in mind. Your jack's holding your lower control arm, your spring in the pocket, your upper control arm now has no play in this besides keeping this in plane with the wheel. So what we're going to do, here's another tip for you. Knock that off there. You don't want that grease on there. Get you in the eyes. We're going to take this thing, BFH. Guys and gals, it's just that simple. So now we know that's loose. Go ahead and give me a pump on that, John. As you can clearly see, we got our upper control arm out of the equation. Take that nut off our bottom control arm, or yeah, our bottom ball joint. Whoop, whoop. Get this out of our way. But guys and gals, you want to be cautious here. This is a live grenade. See how your control arm's all the way down now? That spring's still under tension. Just keep that in mind. Our little pry stick here. Gonna help us out. Whoa, baby! Winner, winner. All right, now you can see. Now all we gotta do is take our lower control arms off, our upper control arms off. But first, I'm gonna go change my pants. We'll click you back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals, update. It didn't whip us, but it tried. Little PB blaster, a little lubrication, a little leverage. We got our off air. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna catch our breath. We're gonna clean this up. We're gonna get our new parts out. Get this gal. Well, we got an upper control arm take off yet. Shoot. Once we get that done, and it's reassembly time. We'll click you back on. All right, guys and gals, as you can see, we got her out. So what we ended up doing here with our upper control arm, we had to loosen our steering link, or steering rod itself, at the rag joint, just to give us a little more room. And what I ended up doing, with John's help, we got these bolts out of the top here. Okay, that allowed us to slide it up and over to get it out. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna assess our parts, check our hardware, and we're gonna get this put back together. We'll click you back on. So here's our old stuff. Okay, you can see, not bad shape. Upper one looks pretty good. So we'll put this in the keep pile. But look at this. So that bushing blowout on this side, okay? Now let's look at our hardware, okay? We got our hardware out. We'll put this on the bench here so you guys and gals can see this. Look at that. From that front bushing being gone, it just whittled that thing down. I mean to tell you, look, you see here, this should be threads like it is there. Okay, good thing John decided to do this. That could have been bad. All right, so what we got here? We got some new goodies. Oh, baby. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, that's where we're headed. All right, guys and gals, we'll get our parts gathered up. Man, that looks good. We'll get these guys laid out, get this put back together. Got the lower one here, look at that. Oh boy, that's a nice piece there, bud. Yes, sir. That looks good. We'll click you back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals, as you can see, we're starting to go back together. We got our top one in there. We're gonna get that all bolted up. Sorry about the light. And we're gonna move on with the next steps. We'll click you back on when we get you set up. All right, guys and gals, as you've seen before, we had some hardware issues. So we went to our local hardware store, got some fancy grade 8 bolts, and I mean to tell you what, they're color matched to the car. Close, kind of close. We're gonna get our lower control arm in place with our new hardware and get this baby put back together. Now when they ship these, they shipped them with these zip ties, okay? Now what these zip ties are doing is holding your bushings and all together. So now I've learned from doing this on prior vehicles, don't cut the zip ties until you get it in there. At least halfway. Because what happens is you end up fighting the bushings and everything else. So see how we got that in there? We know they're going to stay captured. Then we'll take them out. Maybe. Sometimes what ends up happening is these ears, once you tighten them, they get smashed in there. So you gotta kind of work these in there. All right, guys and gals, what we found. Frame, just a little tight in here. So what we're gonna do, a little grease for lubrication. A little lube never hurt. Especially in a high friction situation. All right, guys and gals, there you can see. A little wrestling. Okay, a lot of wrestling. We were able to get the uppers and lowers put back in. New hardware. That's what we were wrestling. Well, we got her done. Now we're gonna go over here to this other side, get this yanked apart, get it put back together, get this baby put back on the ground. We'll click you back on. So here we go, guys and gals. We got this guy. This is the bottom control arm, passenger side. Now, yeah, that's not supposed to be there. You can see why we come in here. This thing needed new bushings and stuff, but thank goodness we come in here. Okay? Look at this. And here's the sad part. My friend took this to a shop to have this done. Had this checked over by an alignment specialist. Okay? Now you can see this is, you know, it's not fresh. Okay, guys and gals, look. There's grease, there's dirt. Okay, this didn't just happen. But it just goes to show. All right, and this is the captured nut I was talking to you about. That's why I had that. But anyhow, just goes to show. Check your rides, guys and gals. Even if you're having them worked on by professionals, just use your eyeballs. Check it out. And this is in no reflection about John's maintenance program, because I'm going to tell you what, this guy, he's on top of it. You don't believe me? Look at this. Huh? You guys and gals see that? That's a date on an oil filter. When's the last time you seen that? He stays on top of his stuff. All right. So we're going to get this cleaned up. By cleaned up, we're going to throw this in the scrap pile. We're going to get our new ones put on. We'll click it back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals, we got the passenger side done. Now, what we are going to have to do with these sway bar here, see that end link? We're going to want this car back down on the ground on its weight before we go ahead and tighten all that up. Okay, you don't want to bind that up as you're going through its suspension cycle. So we're going to get the wheels back on this baby. We're going to get this girl back on the ground. We'll click it back on when we're ready. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. All right, guys and gals, we got her back on the ground. Looking good. Did some measurements. What do you think, John? You happy?
Yeah, real happy, real happy.
Me too, buddy. I'm glad we could get you in today.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Tickled to death, boy.
Found a couple of issues we were glad we could get addressed before they become a bigger issue. Really had a good time. Hanging out with a buddy in the shop. Working on a beautiful car. Making improvements on something we're going to spend time in and enjoy this summer. Alright, guys and gals. Hope you enjoyed this little treat. Hope you enjoyed John. He's a trip. He is a hoot, I'll tell you what. Well, you know why we do it. For the love of hot rods and horsepower. Go out there and get yourself a project. Start enjoying it. Oh, yeah, you want to see the underside? Let's see the underside. Yeah. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Looking good. All right, guys and gals. Go out there and get yourself a project. Start enjoying it. We'll catch you on the next one. That's right.